Hey everybody, it's Tibia. Welcome back to Dishonored. Okay, we ended last time doing the really exciting thing of wandering an empty hotel and reading books. And so just to, kind of pick things up, we're going to continue wandering around an empty hotel and reading books. At least for a little bit. Sorry. Alright, Harpooner Songs. Excerpt from a book of sea shanties sung by sailors. Oh, what will we do with the drunken whaler? What will we do with the drunken whaler? What will we do with the drunken whaler? Early in the morning, feed him to the hungry rats for dinner. Feed him to the hungry rats for dinner. Feed him to the hungry rats for dinner. Early in the morning, way and up she rises, way and up she rises, way and up she rises. Early in the morning, slice his throat with a rusty cleaver. Slice his throat with a rusty cleaver. Slice his throat with a rusty cleaver. Early in the morning, stuff him in a sack and throw him over. Stuff him in a sack and throw him over. Stuff him in a sack, throw him over. Early in the morning, way and up she rises, way and up she rises, way and up she rises. Early in the morning. Yeah, I won't be doing that very often. Oh, started with a shanty. Oh, that's going to either be really good or really bad, and it's up to you to decide. Okay, Litany on the White Cliff. Excerpt from a series of Overseer invocations by High Overseer Abram Templeton. And I say to you, brothers, it is here that we make our stand as a righteous force against the growing darkness. It is here that we unite against the spirits of the unknown that would drag us screaming into the night, never to return to our homes, to our families. Together we serve as a rod to those who would stray from the herd, for the foggy gray wastes of the outsider. We will burn a bright fire with our virtuous actions so that others will not lose their way. And to those who choose to wander beyond the walls of our homes, in far places, we will strike at them swiftly before they whisper to their neighbors, filling their hearts with strangeness and doubt. It's like an overseer cult. Yep, gotta have some books in the bathroom. Always, always. Excerpt from a travel of the Journal of a Whaler in his final years, A Gaffer's Tale Volume 2, or A Gaffer's Final Passage. After more than a quarter of a century, I am done with whaling, too broken to continue. Wait, have we seen all this? The world has beaten me. Yeah, we've seen that one already. No, we're not going to double up. No way. The Shadow on Bitterleaf. Excerpt from a longer work of fiction. Finding my way by the feeble light of the dying fire, I saw her working. A large needle moved in her hand, following precise esoteric patterns, knots and loops of seamstress craft from the ancient days. Beneath her needle, his body clenched and shuddered, shaking the wooden table. A morbid fascination pushed me closer, until she turned her blank face toward me, resting the needle in his flesh. With a refined tone, she addressed me. "So you are the lover, I presume. You too have been unfaithful. And now it is your turn to be mended." The Young Prince of Tibia. Excerpt from a theater play. There's a lot of art and theater books going around in this time. Lord Nathan Bale, shaking with outrage. "How dare you, sir, clothe so in my very home? I should hand you over to the watch, depraved Tibian." Prince Calasar, moving closer. "That's a harsh welcome for royalty, my lord. Your daughter treated with much more hospitality. Alas, she has gone out for the evening, leaving me all alone." Lord Nathan Bale, stammering, studying the younger man before him. "What are you doing? Leave this house! Go back to your frozen wasteland, pale rascal!" Prince Calasar, smiling coyly, reaching out. "No need for anger between us, Lord Bale. Is it wrong for me to be here? As I've proven, I've developed an affinity for you and your family." Lord Nathan Bale, gasping. "Oh my, Calasar, your skin is so warm it burns." What's going on there? Something untoward, it seems. Okay, let's see. How close are we to cleaning this place up? Are we done yet? We've been in here, right? Fairly certain, yeah, we opened up his trunks. Hi. She wasn't the one gossiping about me earlier, so we're just going to keep moving on. We're actually headed upstairs. That's going nowhere. Okay, I think this is where we want to be, once and for all. We have a bed to rest in, but we should explore first. That was some dramatic music there for just walking into a bedroom. Ooh. Medicinal herbs? Does that... Nope, that's worth coin. Not gonna heal me. I need some healing. I took more damage than I ever was actually prepared to take. Nothing up here. Nothing worth looking at. Alright, well, let's go move this thing along. We've done so much reading. Empty bottle, don't need that. Sokolov's elixir. Lightning oil. Lightning oil? Not lighting oil? Okay. Okay, whatever. It's time to sleep. Ooh, got my health back. And my door's boarded off. Ooh. I think we're going to meet somebody. Some fancy outsider we've been hearing about.
Hello, Corvo. Your life has taken a turn, has it not? The Empress is dead. Her precious daughter Emily is lost somewhere in the city, and you will play a pivotal role in the days to come. For this, I have chosen you and drawn you into the void. I am the outsider, and this is my mark. There are forces in the world and beyond the world, great forces that men call magic. And now, these forces will serve your will. Use this newfound power, my gift to you. Come find me.
This is the coolest, thing I got in the last game. Again, because I was playing the stealthy no-kill. Really, I never really upgraded to anything beyond sleep darts, and that's about it. So this just is a cool way to, like, teleport around. Power, blink. Press L2 to execute a fast and stealthy forward dash through the world. You can also use it to move upward, but the distance is reduced. Aiming at ledges allow you to blink forward and climb up. Hold L2 to target your destination with precision. A blue sphere indicates that you should reach your destination. A blue arrow indicates that you will climb when you reach your destination. Okay. You can handle all of this. You cannot save her. You cannot save her. You cannot save her. Over and over and over again. Anything here? Piero's spiritual remedy. All of his talk about being the better potion. Okay. Whoa, nope. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Sorry. Look at a little blood splat. Oh, that's her blood splatter. I thought it was mine for messing up. You have to be on the land, so for this one I need to actually, like, run and jump. It's the... What is that? Emily's letter. Corvo, I'm very sad. They say that you're dead like Mother, but I'm gonna put this note in a bottle and throw it into the river because I do not believe them. Living here is very strange. I do not like it, so please come for me if you can. He looks like the guy that we're working with. The nobleman. I can't think of his name. Probably doesn't matter. Oh, no, I did it again. I did it again. I keep sliding off the edge rather than jumping. That is just silliness and unpreparedness on my part. Oh, okay, that, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. Okay. Gotta let it regenerate enough to pull off a teleport. I'm holding it too long is my problem there, I think. us another spiritual remedy. Luckily, we don't ever need to teleport more than one step away. Alright. Got a guy at a war room map. I don't need to drink a potion. I'm good. Ooh, that's not so good for them. This a lot reminds me of it's kind of like if Half-Life and BioShock had a baby, is what this game, like, artistically, it's got heavy leanings toward both of those art styles. It's got a little bit of uniqueness, but it really does, to me, pull a lot from those two things. Any more stuff to see around here? Nothing yet.
In the days that follow, your trials will be great, Corvo. Seek the ancient runes bearing my mark in the lonely places of your world, and at shrines raised in my name. These runes will grant you powers beyond those of other men. To help you find these runes, I give you this, the heart of a living thing, molded by my hands. With this heart, you will hear many secrets, and it will guide you toward my runes, no matter how they may be hidden. Listen to the heart now, and find another rune.
Okay. I will do that, but first... the heart. Equipping the heart in your left hand helps you locate bone charms or runes, even through walls. The heart beats and lights up when you're facing a bone charm or rune, and it beats faster as you get closer. The heart will whisper secrets if you press L2 while targeting a person or location. Listen to the heart. It will tell you sweet secrets. Nothing up there. Look at that thing pulsing. Held together with barbed wire. It's disgusting. Okay. Oh good, there is up and down arrows, so I do need to go down. It's still down. Can't do anything about that at the moment. Oh, but I do have this. So much spiritual healing. Did I take an elixir on accident? Did I somehow do that? Whatever. Okay. A buckle rock. Okay, runes and acquiring powers. Once you've collected some runes, open the journal to go to the power section to exchange them for powers. Runes can be collected and used to acquire supernatural powers. Now here is where it's going to be fun this time around, because there was a bunch of stuff, again, that I could not do last time, because I could not draw blood. Dark vision, low mana consumption, see in the dark, living beings through walls, including fields of vision, an upgraded version of that. Representations of the sound are also made. Youthful for stealth, obviously. Possession allows control of animal targets for a short duration, and level 2 human targets. Oh, that's nice. Bend time completely stops time for a short duration or slows time. Swarm of rats. Devouring swarm. Summons a swarm of rats that will attack others, then disperse after a short duration. The swarm will also consume corpses. Summons a larger swarm of rats that will attack others, then disperse. Okay. Wind blast. Powerful pushback that knock down enemies and shatter doors. Powerful one that can kill enemies by throwing them into walls and shatter doors. Shadow kill. Unaware enemies who don't see you turn to ash as they die. All enemies turn to ash. So that's like cleaning up bodies so you don't have to deal with the people coming around looking. Agility, jump height is increased, falling damage. That's good. Bloodthirsty. Build up adrenaline, then trigger brutal melee fatalities. Build up adrenaline faster than trigger brutal melee fatalities. Enables a double attack for adrenaline kills, which can be used against multiple enemies within ranged. And then vitality, that's always good. Blink I've got, can't upgrade it right now. Looks like there's not, I can only do vitality or dark vision right now. Since I may be in the thick of things more, we'll go with vitality first. Extended health bar, and we regenerate faster at level 2. Nice. Okay.
How you use what I have given you falls upon you, as it has to the others before you. And now I return you to your world, but know that I will be watching with great interest.
Ugh. What a hangover. Ooh, what's all this? Mystical whale. Pouch. Bone charms. Provide small supernatural benefits. Locate them by listening for the song they emit. By default, you can activate up to 3 bone charms at once. Okay. And let's see. Where's the heart? Wait, no. Where's the heart? There's the heart. So I can just switch over. I don't hear a song, but we'll take it for what it is. I'll come back to that in a minute. Oh, they're just stocking us up here. Alright, we got some more stuff there. There's a rune way out in the distance. Dude. Bone charms out the wazoo. Okay, let's do some quick reading here. Rumors and Sightings, Dowd. An excerpt from an overseer's covert field report. For over a year now I've lived away from the Abbey, without the company of my overseer brethren or the guidance of the blind sisters of the oracular order. Days have passed with me sleeping in the dens of cut-purses, murderers, and worse, and the nights have seen me prowling through the worst alleys and wretched corners of Dunwall. I've taken my meals with killers. At times I have ventured beyond the city walls, meeting in forgotten graveyards and outlying ruins frequented by those of ill means. My beard has grown long, and I wear the weathered clothing of bits of boiled leather favored by the Bottle Street and Hatter gangs, and by those rough men and women who make their trade knifing others in return for coin. My hands have run red with blood, it's true, but I have selected my targets with care, choosing among those criminals and heretics who are not fit to live, executing them justly and using their deaths as a means of building my reputation. So far, this trick has allowed me to make my name among my murderous colleagues without taking the lives of the innocent. My goal is singular. I must impress the assassin named Dowd in order to get close to him. Of all the practitioners of black magic we have tracked, none concern the Abbey as much as Dowd. It is said that his mother was a witch from one of the archipelagos off the Pandician coast, taken captive by pirates venturing far from the Isles. According to the legend, by the time the ship returned, the captain was dead and the witch controlled the crew, with Dowd still a shadow in her belly. The earliest stories tell of a gang killer without mercy, moving among the shopkeepers and city watch officers of Dunwall like a reaper through wheat. Then a period of silence followed. Years we but now believe he spent traveling the Isles, studying anatomy and the occult in the great halls of learning, and in hidden basements frequented by fellow dabblers in the forbidden arts. Dowd is even purported to have spent a winter in the Academy of Natural Philosophy itself, and for a time before a schism developed, he encountered the Brigmore witches among his allies. All the while he honed his craft, and it's during this time that we believe he began to consort with the outsider. New reports emerged of a dusky-skinned assassin paid by the elite to eliminate their rivals in Dunwall and in the other major cities across the Isles. Those who saw him and lived numbered in the handful, but all of them reported something strange. He appeared and vanished like smoke from a nearby rooftop. He gestured, and a noblewoman stumbled from her balcony, falling to her doom on the cobblestones below. Most recently, as this new threat of plague has risen in Dunwall, Dowd has been seen leading a gang of men in dark leather, dressed as factory whalers in their vapor masks. They seem loyal beyond comprehension for one so unworthy, leading me to wonder if some of his magic is dedicated to lulling their minds, enslaving them. Only a month ago, one young girl claims to have come upon a strange scene, carrying a bottle of milk home to her crippled brother. She was taking a shortcut through the tailor's district. In a narrow street, she passed beneath a window and heard unusual sounds from within. Pushing aside the ratty curtain, the girl saw into an abandoned apartment, used by miscreants for gambling and trading haberweed. An occult shrine had been erected against the far wall, which she recognized from the teachings given by her local overseer. A man she described as resembling Dowd was kneeling before the shrine, muttering to an unseen spirit, as if in argument. He took a carving made of pale bone from the altar before him, and the lights all went out in a gush of unclean wind. Quiet as a field mouse, she slipped away, running until she reached her home. There can be no doubt. Dowd is an agent of the outsider and must die, for there is no limit to the evil this man might do. This is my solemn oath and the great purpose of my life. Until Dowd is dead and his corruption has been purged from the world, I will continue to move among the depraved, winding my way toward him. I will not drop my guise or don my overseer's mask again until Dowd breathes no more. Interesting. I wonder who wrote that. Field Survey Notes, The Royal Spy. Excerpt from the personal memoirs of Hiram Burroughs, dated several years earlier. This is the 4th day, month of high cold. Progress continues on the suppression of gang activity in the distillery district, but more slowly than I'd expected. The ruffians operating there have been cunning, I'll grant them that, but it's only a matter of time. I'll see their leaders flogged in public and sent beneath the royal executioner's blade. If I had my way, that mute bastard would be working night and day removing the heads that need removing. Internally, the Empress does not seem pleased with my investigations. It seems that it is beyond her thinking, against her very nature as a trusting person, to believe that traitors move among us. But I know they do. They must. No, Jessamine would rather spend her time with the royal protector. At least he's likely to stop any immediate threat to her safety. But a strong arm is not what's needed against those who would undermine us. How will Corvo's sword stop a poisoned wineglass or an explosive delivered by courier? It will not. There are many threats around us, threats requiring meticulous efforts to police. Young Lady Emily is undisciplined. I'm afraid. Here within Dunwall Tower, she receives instruction from the finest tutors known in the Isles. Yet her mother spoils her, and she spends most of her time lost in imagination, wasting her time drawing, or asking Corvo to teach her to fight with wooden sticks. The girl might rule the Empire someday. Every moment spent at play is a moment wasted. Shoring up security for the main gate leading into Dunwall Tower has been another pet project of late. To think that back in his day, Emperor Kaldwin left it open to the public during the day, allowing anyone to come and go as they pleased. If it were up to me, I'd seal off access to the streets entirely, but the Empress won't hear of it. The waterlock is much easier to protect, and if it were the only way into the tower, traffic in and out would be greatly reduced. Someday the wrong person is going to slip in and we'll suffer for it, mark my words. No amount of security is excessive when it comes to protecting heads of state. The Empress also disapproves of my plans for the Sokolov devices. Sokolov himself has no interest in security, of course, but he's vain and therefore keen to see his inventions deployed in any fashion. His wall of light he's been tinkering with has promise. In any case, at least, I was able to convince the Empress to upgrade the pistols carried by the officers of the watch. Why do I worry so when no one else seems to care? If I ever fall asleep, will it all sink into the ocean? Will the rough things clamber over the walls and fill themselves on our flesh? This is what I see in the same dream several times each month. If only I had more say in things, more authority, I could protect us all. Perhaps I've been working too hard. Dinner and an evening of conversation with a certain lady of refinement might be in order. Perhaps somewhere nice in the estate district. Hiram Burroughs, Royal Spymaster. Early life and criminal records, Slackjaw. Excerpt from a series of letters sent by a member of the Bottle Street Gang. You want the chinwag on Slackjaw? What he was like when he was young, before he got his name? Oh, he's got a cool head now, but it weren't always like that in the days before he was the boss of the Bottle Street gang. Time was, young Slackjaw wasn't such a reasonable man. Like most of us, he grew up on the streets, running with a pack of ragamuffins to avoid the law, pinching whatever he needed. Dark-haired and dark-eyed, smoking a pipe at the age of 10. For them born into the brothels or coming from the orphanages, it was either gangs or working with the mudlarks, and no one wants that. Some got pressed into the Navy or put down in the mines run by the Pendleton or the Boyle families. As hard as it was on the streets, as hungry as we all got, at least we was free. By the time we weren't little uns anymore, Slackjaw was one to watch, usually calling the shots when we took down a farmer's cart or a sidewalk street vendor. He'd come up with a plan, give everyone some part to play, and decide on a split. Most of us just went along because we learned fast that we made better out like that. More food, more coin, plus none of us wanted to deal with Slackjaw when he was in a rage. We worked on a couple of big jobs with Black Sally across town, and that was enough to get the attention of the other bosses. He wasn't just a street kid anymore. He was an up-and-comer, which meant trouble. Another guy who fancied himself as such was Mike the Fish, who was working his way up running a protection racket among the factory women. One fine evening, we were all taking in a bawdy show at the theatre house. Mike the Fish and his lot were there playing in the cheap seats too, just down the aisle from us. Mike gets a wild idea, he wasn't big on planning, and throws a heavy ceramic spittoon at Slackjaw. Hits him square in the face and breaks his jaw. We look to see if there's going to be a blood brawl, but Slackjaw just points at the door and we all leave, with Mike laughing at our backs. Waking up the next day without telling us why, Slackjaw motions for us all to follow. He can't say a word, so we just come along. We stop at the docks and Slackjaw actually pays coin for it, a heavy chain covered in hooks. It's for fishing in the deep, something you'd attach to a long line off the side of a ship. It's about 4 feet, made of thick links, and there's sharp hooks coming off of it at different angles. Slackjaw's got that thing wrapped around his left arm, dangling at his side. Not sure how he knew where Mike the Fish was staying, but when we reach the girl's house, Slackjaw throws a bottle through the window just like that. It's almost noon. There's a bunch of screaming inside, and Mike pokes his head out, looking wide-eyed and baffled. When he sees Slackjaw out in the street, a look comes over his face that still gives me the willies. Pure murder. Mike comes out the side door, bellowing like a blood ox, holding a cleaver, heading straight for Slackjaw. When they come together in the street, Slackjaw spins and the shark hooks bite deep into Mike's arm and shoulder. He screams, but Slackjaw holds onto the chain. He's standing there with his jaw broken, clenched tight, with the chain wrapped around his left arm, hooks sunk into Mike the Fish, just knifing him as fast as he can. Mike couldn't fight very well hooked like that, and using his left hand, but he was a big guy and it took a lot of stabbing before he went to his knees. Everyone was cheering at first, but then we all went quiet. It just kept going and going, until finally it was just Mike the Fish blubbering, crying like a baby at the sound of Slackjaw's knife. When it was over, and here's the brilliant part, Slackjaw took out a note and stuck to Mike's face with a nail. It just said, "If you want a job, come to Bottle Street." Slackjaw didn't talk right for a couple of months, but word sped fast. By the end of the year, we had a sizable gang going. He sent out letters to the other street bosses telling them that he was running a brand new crew over on Bottle Street. Most of them laughed or beat up the guys who delivered the letters. Green-eyed Trish even came back missing a thumb. But apparently Slackjaw was expecting that kind of reaction and had a backup plan. A week later, 4 of the bosses were dead. Seemed like a series of unfortunate events, but everyone knew better. One shot dead by the watch while standing in the middle of the meat market. Another slipping and falling into the water out cold. One of the elder bosses found in bed with his belly open wide and a Tibian pear stuffed into his mouth. Still not sure what that meant. Sheila Barnsworth was found bubbling in a cauldron of hot wax. Slackjaw sent out another set of letters. Offers to the underbosses telling them they'd be treated fair as their peers. He even sent Green-eyed Trish with one of the letters. All of the underbosses accepted. After spilling the guts of his main competition, Slackjaw went in for stabilizing his business, real neat-like. Calling in favors, smoothing things over, giving everybody a little bit of coin, a drink as a bonus. showing what he could be like as a boss. So everyone got quiet, which always makes the boys of the City Watch nervous, of course. Word went out among the Royal Spymaster Snitches, the responsible citizens group they called themselves, telling everyone working in a shop or sweeping off the front steps of their homes to keep watchful eyes for Slackjaw and his men, trying to suss out what they were up to and what had just happened. But Slackjaw ain't stupid. He greased a few palms among the shopkeepers in the watch too, telling them that he was in town and that things would be run properly from now on, without so much blood. He was finally a real boss, ready to settle into the business of moving whiskey, running hound fights, and offering up the ladies and gentlemen of the night, if you take my meaning. Then the plague came. At first it seemed like a good thing. A few people got sick and everyone wanted to buy those potions from Sokolov or Piero. Health elixir or spiritual remedy, they call them. Slackjaw told me he saw an opportunity. We already had an old whiskey factory with a still, where we could water the stuff down and sell it discounted. Doing the same with Sokolov's Aliska was a smart plan. Pretty soon everybody in the slums was sick and business was good. But after a while there were so many people down with the plague that everyone got scared. Everybody started acting real nasty and everything fell apart. When people can't work, they don't have the coin for elixir, watered down or pure. When the Empress died, it seemed like Dunwall would slide into the void. Spymaster Burroughs took over, then the watch started using all that new Sokolov technology. Watchtowers, toll buoys, and them arc pylons. But they put up a wall of light across Clavering Boulevard and cracked down hard. But Slackjaw surprised us again. Instead of leaving town on a boat bound for Morley or one of the other isles, he stayed and kept it all together. All together. We get as much elixir to fight off the plague as the City Watch with their taxes and rations. But that's kept us alive so far. Growly, Bottle Street came. That was a lot of bad cockney right there. Sorry about that. That went on a long time. Alright, Journal of Granny Rags. An excerpt from the Ramblings of a Street Denizen. Of course I'll tell you, dearie. I won't keep any secrets from you in the end. All the dreary days of my life are like the windows of a house. From the kitchen I can see out into the garden where the leaves and stalks are brown and bug-eaten. You can see a little lump of dirt where something was wrapped in a blanket and laid to rest along the rows of twisting vines. The front room looks out into the street where the neighbors are all setting fire to their homes, barricading themselves inside, warm and snug, dearie. Don't forget about the bedroom either. It sees into the dreary alley where hooligans are playing a game with an old man. First are two hitting him with sticks, and the girl with him is kicking at his dry old ribs. Oh, to have those bones, to boil them in a pot. No one lives in my house any more, dearie, none you'd want to meet. When I lived here with my husband, we were fine, fine people. Fair Moray, everyone would say. Your house is as grand as Bowell Manor. Better even. Your dinners are lavish and your parties are the best. When that young Sokolov come to paint my portrait, I was nearly still in my prime. Radiant, he said, and he was just barely a man. So young, painting all the best people across the land. Everyone wanted a portrait by his hand. All my friends. I was the only one, dearie, wet with his paint, glistening on the canvas for a pretty coin. But it wasn't all parties and paintings. My husband and I weren't always at home, no. We traveled together, he and I, to the far ends of the Isles, beyond even, all the way to the red cliffs of Pandysia, to dig in the rock and crawl through the caves, holding up candles and squinting at the walls. Many precious things we came upon, but none so precious as the boy with the black eyes, dearie. On those marks and bones carved so deep and polished so bright. I brought the old bones home, hid them from my dear husband. Then I learned to boil them and carve them myself. They made such good presents, dearie. The little mute boy came and took them home. He loved them so. All the time he'd come back with new bones for me, holding them up so I could see it in his eyes, even though his tongue was still. Granny, his eyes would say to me, carve these bones for me. Make me another present. And he went so far, all the way to Dunwall Tower, the royal headsman himself now. My little mute boy and his shiny, shiny sword. Better bones were what I needed, you see. Better bones to carve and polish, scrape and gleam. My dear old husband was always tired. I made him soup, and then he was sick. Better bones was all. For my little mute boy, carved in the name of the one with black eyes. And after my husband was gone, giving away his birthday gifts, I didn't want to live there anymore. So now I'm old and don't have many presents to give. Oh, let's try that again. So I'm old now and I don't have many to give my presents to. It's sifting through the garbage for granny rags and feeding the little birdies that gather at my feet. No one wants to have tea, dearie, especially those rude louts on Bottle Street. Slackjaw and his boys, always meddling with an old woman just trying to make her way. In the end, we'll be together with him. You and me in the dreary night with stars above and below. And always the one with the black eyes, dearie. Alright. Now we gotta go find this room. If we... Oh, I've got it set as down, so... Oh, we still take a little bit of damage from that. Okay, okay. Let's keep our heart going. Rune bone charm nearby. Yep. It's so important it's just laying out on the rocks. Play your way. Powers. That's just telling us again that the runes give us powers. I know that there's like dangerous fish in these waters. Gotta be careful. There we go. Oh. I blinked. No. Having some trouble there, Corvo? Let's go. What's your problem here? Whoa! See? There's those dangerous fish I was talking about. Dillied about one too many moments. Alright, we have got lots of money here. Is this goober in here right now? Or we might just have to wait till later. I'm not going to spend too much time looking for him. Here we go.
Havelock stopped in earlier, but I forgot what he wanted.
Okay, so you're not talking to me right now. Alright, well let's real quick take a peek at what they want.
If you like it, but he won't use it.
Well, let's get down to it. First off, I know that assassination is dark business, but sometimes good men have to do bad things to make the world right. Our purpose is clear. We want to restore Her Majesty's line by finding and putting Emily Kaldwin on the throne. To those ends, we'll hide, act in shadow, take them apart, piece by piece. Tonight, High Overseer Campbell dies by your hand. It won't be easy. He's protected by his overseers, an army of religious zealots. But if anyone can do it, you can. Your exploits are legendary. Campbell carries a private journal. Once you've eliminated him, get the journal, because we think it contains Emily's location. Recovering her is obviously critical, assuming she's alive. That's the gist of it. Remember our cause and strike true. We're counting on you. Another thing. Campbell is holding a former overseer by the name of Martin. He's one of us, and if you manage to find him, give him whatever help you can. He's a master strategist, and he got caught working for our cause. It'd be good to have him back here at the Hound Pits.
Okay, so we got a secondary objective. Alright, real quick. The Exquisite Tall Boy. Excerpt from a letter of public concern by anonymous authors. What you've read here is the truth, regardless of what you will hear from the authorities who rule over us. It's not a matter of coincidence that the former royal spy master is the one who stepped in when the late Empress fell, who will remain nameless. We, who will remain nameless, believe that these events are interconnected. The signs of oppression are all around us. The Sokolov designs, originally intended to provide light and warmth in our homes, have been turned against us as a means of inspiring fear and controlling our movements throughout the city. And where did this plague originate? Some say it was imported. A wild theory? Perhaps. One of our members risked her life to obtain an internal report from the government, which we'll be printing and sharing soon, called The Exquisite Tall Boy, extolling the virtues of this newest member of the City Watch. To those in the streets below, these virtues are horrors, spread by stilted things who rain down fire on the sick and the poor. To these eyes, the tall boy is another government bully, armed with incendiary devices, thickly armored and standing high overhead, looking down at the common people of the city. We know now that the tall boys are heavily drugged, imbibing a substance that renders them resistant to pain, but also dulls whatever empathy they might normally possess. Exquisite? We think not. Copy these words and share them with your neighbors, and remember, when the tides are the lowest, the truth will be revealed. Alright. So let's go out, and, you got anything interesting? Yeah? Looks like you do.
Corvo. Hello. I'm Callista. I work here for Admiral Havelock. I'm sorry to intrude on your business, but this is important. I suspect you're going to kill the High Overseer. That wretched man. There's really no reason for you to listen to me, but my uncle, Jeff Kernow, still serves as captain in the City Watch. But he's a good man, and my only family. The chatter in servant circles is that Campbell just took delivery of an exotic poison, and I think I know why. My uncle's not corruptible like the rest of them. Campbell is going to poison my uncle. Do you think you could protect him? You used to do that, right? Before you had your current profession. Before you became an assassin.
Yeah. I think that's possible. So we got a what? Mission clues. Nothing specific yet. Bone charms. We're going to check those out next time. I want to kind of wrap it up here. Okay, so we're going to save right here. And next time we'll check out our bone charms and runes. And we'll talk to Samuel and get started on our very first assassination mission. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you come back next time. But until then, take care of yourselves.